We are encouraged by the tangible progress achieved through our partnership. Notably, we've improved efficiency at key border posts, and this has enhanced the movement of goods, services, and people, thereby supporting trade facilitation and regional connectivity. Equally commendable has been our close collaboration in responding to the foot-and-mouth disease outbreak in parts of South Africa and along our shared border. This cooperation demonstrates the strength, responsiveness, and strategic importance of our partnership in protecting livelihoods, safeguarding agricultural production, and preserving regional food security. I must pause here to underscore that we are here not just for a gracious exchange of felicitations and flattery. We are here to reflect honestly. We are here to reflect intensely on how we can strengthen the partnership between our two countries. We must appreciate the institutional bottlenecks that exist with which we must deal and wrestle on a daily basis. And so, when we flag the achievements, we are not merely raising yesterday's talismanic fetishes. We are seeking to draw inspirations from those aspects in which we have done very well. The better then to reflect on those in relation to which we haven't done so well. And we must raise these and deal with them honestly together. Your Excellency, this session of the Binational Commission occurs at a time of heightened global uncertainty and geopolitical and economic shifts. We face certain near-fatal vulnerabilities we need to hold each other by the hand so that we can cushion and immunize ourselves against some of these exogenous shocks over which we may have little to absolutely no control at all. Nations across the world are grappling with rising costs of living, energy insecurity, climate change, supply chain disruptions, technological transformation, and evolving geopolitical realignments. These demand greater coordination, strategic foresight, and strengthened regional cooperation. At the same time, they present new opportunities for our countries to reposition themselves within emerging global value chains and harness innovation, digital transformation, and renewable energy transition as drivers of inclusive and sustainable growth. I must pause here again, make the point and make it emphatically, that the level to which we will attain inclusive economic growth will depend in critical respect on the pace, the scale, and the scope of our innovation. In this era of the knowledge economy, we must appreciate that our countries and Africa in general are not just going to be passive observers of history's passing show. We are not going to be consumers of knowledge generated from elsewhere. We also must invest in the generation of knowledge. We must know and think the best that has been thought and that is known in the rest of the world. And we must lead. Africa must lead. And there's every reason why we should. Every conceivable metric of assessment conspires in our favor as Africans. Youngest population in the world, median age of 19 years, 3 months, when the whole world is facing the specter of an aging population. By 2050, it is suggested that Africans will constitute about 30% of the total world population. We are a growing, rising continent. And so we have every reason to look to the future with optimism, fix our gaze on the future, move forward with confidence, and we must move decisively. So there's a significant scope in these circumstances for Botswana and South Africa to play a critical role. And to do this, we must deepen our cooperation in the areas of energy security, including cross-border electricity trade, renewable energy development, energy infrastructure investment, and regional energy integration. We must harness and deploy technology to augment human capability. And if we do, not only will we better the quality of our lives, the lives of our people, we will actually prolong the lives of our people. We must harness artificial intelligence. But we must always remember that inasmuch as it presents significant opportunities and benefits, artificial intelligence can also pose threats if it is left to its own devices. As the author Noah Yuval Harari observes, we must always be careful not to summon forces we cannot control. And artificial intelligence is a force which we must strive at all times to bring under control. Because if it runs amok, it can wreak untold havoc on our communities and on our peoples. We must deploy technology in agriculture because agriculture remains central to the livelihoods of our people and their socio-economic well-being. We have, therefore, as these two nations, considerable potential to expand collaboration across the agricultural value chain, including veterinary cooperation, disease prevention and control, agro-processing, agricultural innovation, and improved market access. And I'm happy that the President this morning was able to visit the Botswana Vaccine Institute and witness the capabilities which South Africa can and should become a part of, to deepen and to grow. Our countries are two of Africa's leading diamond-producing countries. And so we share a strategic interest in ensuring that our mineral resources contribute meaningfully to industrialization, value addition, employment creation, and broad-based economic transformation. In the face of evolving global market dynamics, including the emergence of fake, synthetic, lab-grown diamonds, it is imperative that we strengthen cooperation in local beneficiation, downstream value chains, marketing, and protecting the long-term integrity and competitiveness of the natural diamond industry. We're still fortunate, at least for a while, that the synthetics operate only in the lower caratages of the diamond industry, 2 carats and below. But I'm sure they are busy preparing and seeking ways in which they can also operate in the higher caratages. So we need to protect the natural minerals, the natural diamonds. And as founding members of the Kimberley Process certification schemes, our two countries bear a shared responsibility to ensure that our mineral wealth delivers tangible developmental outcomes for our citizens. By retaining greater value within our economies, we can create quality jobs, strengthen industrial capacity, and enhance economic resilience against external shocks. Your Excellency, trade and investment remain fundamental pillars of our bilateral partnership. While South Africa continues to be Botswana's largest trading partner, there remains a substantial untapped potential for further expansion and diversification of investment flows between our two countries. We must therefore intensify efforts to address barriers that constrain trade, improve the ease of doing business, strengthen industrial cooperation, and create a more enabling environment for investment, innovation, and enterprise development. In this regard, I welcome the convening of the Botswana-South Africa Business Forum on the margins of this session. The forum provides an important platform for strengthening private sector partnerships, identifying new areas of collaboration, and unlocking practical investment and commercial activities that can drive economic growth and job creation in both our countries. Equally important is the development of efficient, modern, and integrated transport and logistics corridors between our countries. Enhanced road and rail connectivity will facilitate the movement of goods and people and also support industrialization, expand regional market access, strengthen supply chains, and position our region for sustained economic growth and competitiveness. I read that this week there was a trial run. Trains came in from South Africa uninterrupted in a strategic collaboration involving Botswana Railways. And if, as I hope it will, this initiative holds, then it opens new vistas of opportunity for our countries. So, Your Excellency, as we formally open the 6th session of the Botswana-South Africa Binational Commission, I am confident that our deliberations will be constructive, they will be strategic and result-oriented. I'm equally encouraged by the bilateral agreements to be concluded during this session, which will further deepen and broaden cooperation between our two countries across critical sectors. It is my sincere hope that our engagements today will produce meaningful outcomes that advance the interests of our people, strengthen the bonds of friendship between Botswana and South Africa, and contribute to the broader vision of a peaceful, prosperous, and integrated Southern Africa. And I must close by reminding each and every one of us that we can meet here and present charters of aspirations. We can meet here and craft and fashion visions. We must appreciate that these visions, these outcomes that we desire, are not self-executing. They require agency, human agency. People, creatures of flesh and blood, that must execute these aspirations. We therefore must appreciate, and I've said, and I maintain vigorously all the time, I am prosecuting a revolution. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here. And I've called myself a revolutionary. Called myself this when I was young and I didn't even quite understand what a revolutionary was. I even got almost expelled from secondary school for using that description on myself. I called myself a revolutionary. And I know that a revolution doesn't go on inordinately. It is time-bound. It involves concentrated action. And it operates within certain temporal horizons. So at the forefront of everything we do, we must appreciate that the people out there will not wait on us inordinately. They want results. They want these results not today. They don't want them tomorrow. They want them yesterday. And so that is why, Mr. President, I always say, for me, yesterday is ideal. Tomorrow is too late. We therefore understand the very strict timelines within which all these things that we discuss, resolve, stand to be implemented. And so, on that note, it's my pride and pleasure at this point to thank all of you and to exit the stage and invite, not someone, and invite my brother, my friend, fellow revolutionary, the President of the Republic of South Africa, President Matamela Cyril Ramaphosa.
Oh. I see they've decided to silence me.
Now it seems to work. Thank you very much for this opportunity. Your Excellency, President Duma Boko, Vice President Ndaba Gosnati Khawlati, members of Parliament who are here present, ministers and deputy ministers from both delegations and high commissioners of our respective countries, senior officials of our two governments, members of the media, and ladies and gentlemen. Let me take this opportunity, Your Excellency and my brother, to express our great pleasure to be here at home amongst our brothers and sisters, the people of Botswana. The warm welcome that you have extended to us last night and this morning is a testament to the spirit of friendship, solidarity, and cooperation that underpin our strategic relations. Those who attended the dinner last night all signed a confidentiality note that what happened last night will not be talked about. However, it was a state banquet to be remembered, and thank you very much for honoring us in that way. My brother, today you and I oversee this 6th session of the Binational Commission in the shadow of the passing of one of Botswana's finest, former President Festus Mogae, who was laid to rest in a befitting and deeply moving manner. Whilst I was not able to attend, our Deputy President, Paul Mashatile, represented the people of South Africa, and he reported that President Mogae was laid to rest in the most dignified manner, the only way that Botswana know how to lay a president to rest. So we applaud you for the manner and the dignity that you showed to President Mogae. We continue to be inspired by President Mogae's remarkable life and contribution to continue to deepen the cooperation between our two nations. He worked diligently to ensure that Botswana and South Africa remain partners in all endeavors of life. Our ties have been shaped by centuries of cultural affinity, as you said, and they've also been shared by our ancestry. We trace our histories to the great societies of the Botswana and Nama people, whose migratory movements laid a foundation for the geographical spaces that make up our countries today. Neither colonialism nor apartheid could divide us or thwart our common destiny. We cannot forget the enormous sacrifice that Botswana made in standing in solidarity with the people of South Africa in their quest for freedom against apartheid. And for this, we will forever be grateful to you as Botswana and to the country Botswana. During that course of the titanic struggle against apartheid, Botswana spoke for our cause on international platforms, ensuring that our voice the voice of the people of South Africa who yearned for freedom was not silenced, but amplified. We will never forget your acts of bravery, sacrifice, and principled support for our struggle. Your sacrifice led to apartheid South Africa, taking your country on a number of occasions, but more especially on the 14th of June 1985, during a raid on your capital, thus violating the sovereignty of your country, where 12 people were murdered, and a number of them being Botswana citizens. Botswana is one of the beacons of democracy in our region, and indeed on our continent. It is a model of stability that continues, and under your leadership, President, Botswana is charting a path towards sustained prosperity and an assured future, with you standing at the head leading what you have characterized as a revolution. The Binational Commission continues to provide a valuable mechanism through which we should align our interests as the two countries and strengthen our existing collaboration and identify new areas of cooperation and move our relations to a higher level. This binational takes place during challenging times at a global level. The geopolitical architecture of the world continues to change on a daily basis, threatening stability not only for democracy or multilateralism, but also at an economic level. There are strategic opportunities, however, that we should pursue to expand our economic growth on a number of levels, including investment in both countries, including trade, and also including finding new ways in the technologically changing world through innovation and science development. We need to ensure that our trade is more balanced. South Africa wishes to attract a greater number of diverse products from Botswana. A number of South African companies have expressed a desire to invest more in Botswana, creating more jobs, transferring skills, contributing to revenues of this country. And similarly, we want to see more Botswana companies investing in South Africa. We do want to deepen cooperation in all sectors of our economies. In agriculture, we want to see much more cooperation than we have now. South Africa's agricultural sector wants to be a partner as Botswana grows its own agricultural sector and consolidates its food security. I was highly impressed this morning to visit Botswana Vaccine Institute and to see the world-class capability that Botswana has developed in manufacturing vaccines, and not only for Botswana, but also for Southern Africa. And we were pleased to hear that South Africa acquires or procures many of its livestock vaccines from BVI. And they say in South Africa always pays on time to ensure that BVI continues to work. Amongst other things, my dear brother, we need to address the challenges which have led to the imposition of import restrictions on agricultural products from South Africa. Working together, we should find ways of addressing the challenges that Botswana faces and also find solutions to the reasons why Botswana has acted in the way that it has, and mutually find those solutions so that our growth can be mutually beneficial as we address these. We should direct our ministers of agriculture and trade to develop proposals on resolving these challenges and submit that to us by December 2026. We commend Botswana for the implementation of your 12th National Development Plan, which is anchored on economic diversification and a transition towards more export-oriented and private sector-driven growth. We follow with keen interest your commitment to the development of several special economic zones, which will attract the necessary foreign direct investment, expand your economy, create more jobs for young people, and sharpen competitiveness. You will find in us as South Africans that we are ready to assist and to support, and that we are reliable partners as these zones gain traction. Our countries are both endowed with vast mineral resources. These strategic minerals are now the focus of intense global interest. Some of these minerals are key components of the manufacturing of important products that are important to the development of the world economy, such as batteries for electric vehicles and more powerful computer microchips. They are vital for the development of the green energy and digital economies. As owners of these minerals, we should beneficiate these products ourselves. And as we do so, we should do the beneficiation at source, ensuring that the communities where these minerals are extracted from benefit and are not left behind, and that they should create opportunities for all our peoples. But Botswana is leading the way by refining and polishing your diamonds in your country. Continued cooperation between South Africa and Botswana in this area is very critical. Last night I saw what I thought was most pleasing when two ministers on our side were claiming each other and saying, this one belongs to me, that one belongs to me, and it was a woman and a man competing that they belong to each other because of the work that they do. And when another minister said, no, she belongs to me, I almost had to stop a fight between my ministers about how enthusiastic about the work that they continue to do. That in many ways demonstrates the deep cooperation between even ministers between our two countries. That affinity that you spoke about has grown quite deep, and you and I must keep an eye on it. Continued cooperation between South Africa and Botswana in energy is paramount if we are to meet the energy needs of our people and to develop our productive sectors. We must cooperate on issues of electricity access, as well as petroleum resources, as well as the other product that we are both well endowed with, coal. Investment in renewable energy will also assist us in diversifying our energy mix. Investment in priority catalytic infrastructure projects are vital in enhancing bilateral economic opportunities and enhancing greater regional integration, which should be led by Botswana and South Africa in our own region. One such venture is Mamabula-Lephalale Rail Link project, which stands out as a strategic priority for our two countries. And this initiative has the potential to unlock significant economic value for both countries. We must expedite the agreements that are needed to ensure that this project is implemented. Other critical ventures include the proposed Lesotho-Botswana water transfer project. Now, I have, as I have observed, thought that this project is not named properly. The idea here is to ensure that Botswana benefits from the natural resource that comes from Lesotho, which we are benefiting from, extracting water from the highlands of Lesotho and making sure that that resource is finally delivered in Botswana as well. Now, it's not named properly because it says Lesotho-Botswana Water Transfer Project. But it leaves South Africa out, and the water flows through South Africa to Botswana. So, my dear brother, Mr. President, it should be named Lesotho, Botswana, or better still, South Africa, Botswana Water Transfer Project. We have said that we should leave no one behind. So South Africa cannot be left behind on this project because the pipes and the waterways will run through South Africa from Lesotho through to Botswana. And also, the other major project, which I'm quite excited about too, is the Ramaphosa Transborder Aquifer. Now, these initiatives will support water security into the future. Our two countries are water scarce, and they will enable sustainable growth and development for our two countries. We are not only interested in the passage of resources and goods between our two countries, we need to work towards the seamless movement of our people in a predictable, coordinated, and secure manner. We welcome Botswana's plans to establish a one-stop border post at Tlokweng and Kopfontein. This will help reduce congestion at the border. It will facilitate trade and enhance the efficient movement of people and goods between our two countries. As we deepen our collaboration, we must also work together to tackle transnational organized crime across our borders. Together, we must deal with such threats as cybercrime, arms smuggling, human trafficking, drug smuggling, illegal mining, money laundering, illicit financial flows, and wildlife poaching. South Africa has been entrusted with the responsibility to chair SADC from August from this year. During our tenure, we will continue to champion the cause of regional integration, peace, stability, development, and the prosperity of our region. Since the dawn of democracy in our country, we have sought to welcome and integrate immigrants from other parts of our continent and beyond our continent as well. Most of the people who have come have integrated into South African society, forming a vital bridge between South Africa and their countries of origin. At the same time, we have experienced a high influx of undocumented immigrants. You and I spoke about this extensively in our tete-a-tete. This phenomenon has intersected with economic hardship and unemployment experienced by many of our people, as it is also by your people, contributing to tensions between some local communities and foreign nationals. Recent events in South Africa have once more brought to the fore the real integrity of this sisterly country and support all parties in finding negotiated solutions to this unfortunate conflict that has persisted for decades. South Africa remains concerned about the civil war in Sudan, which has led to the massive loss of lives, to destruction and infrastructure devastation as well. And this has created a massive, possibly unprecedented human rights and humanitarian crisis. We are also concerned about the political impasse and instability in neighboring South Sudan as well. The operationalization of the African Standby Force is becoming increasingly more urgent. Conflicts in many parts of the world continue to adversely impact on global peace and stability and security as well. There is a clear challenge to multilateralism and international law. It is therefore important to work tirelessly to reform the global institutions of governance so that these reflect the diversity, for instance, of the membership of the United Nations. And we appreciate the stance that has been taken by Botswana to insist that the multilateral system must be properly governed and that countries and the peoples of the world who are not currently represented in the major decision-making structures of those multilateral organizations should be properly represented. For instance, our continent, which has 1.4 billion people, cannot forever remain unrepresented on the UN Security Council. We want representation in that august body so that we can continue to play a key role. In conclusion, my dear President, I am of the conviction that this binational commission provides us with the impetus to galvanize and deepen our cooperation. The exceptional work carried out by our officials, our technical experts, under the guidance of our ministers, has reinforced the path of collaboration. The fact that we have so many ministers on both sides participating is testament to the commitment that our two countries have and our two governments have to ensure that this binational commission bears fruit and leads to the implementation of those agreements that will be signed today. The reports we are about to receive from the ministers will no doubt outline the priorities that need focus and will allow us as two presidents to give strategic direction towards the full realization of our mutual interests. So I thank you once again for your warm welcome and hospitality for hosting this important session here in Gaborone. We look forward to a fruitful discussion, and as South Africa, we look forward to hosting the next binational so that we can revenge what you have done in giving us the hospitality. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. President and Your Excellency, for those clear and powerful statements that you have delivered. My take is that the messages delivered are so clear that as Director of Ceremonies, there's no need to make a summary, lest I get tempted to deliver my own mini statement. At this juncture, as we transition to the closed session in the room next door, I'm going to request that protocol ushers our heads of state to a holding room as we allow the Vice President, our honorable ministers from South Africa and Botswana, and the designated officials to settle down in the adjacent